Commander Lily Walsh sat alone in the observation deck of the USS Horizon. The vast emptiness of space stretched before her, stars twinkling like distant memories of home. Earth was now just another pinpoint of light, barely visible among thousands. 3 years into their exploratory mission, Lily still found herself coming here during off-duty hours, seeking solace in the quiet expanse. The soft hum of the ship's engines provided a comforting background noise as she sipped her coffee. At 35, Lily had given everything to this mission: her marriage, the possibility of children, a normal life on Earth. Sometimes she wondered if it had been worth it. "Commander, we've detected something unusual." Officer Frank Nichols' voice interrupted through the communication system. "You might want to come to the bridge." Lily set down her mug with a sigh. "On my way." The corridors of the USS Horizon were bathed in soft blue light as Lily made her way to the bridge. The ship had been humanity's pride when it launched, the first vessel capable of traveling to nearby star systems. Now, after 3 years of exploration, its once pristine surfaces showed signs of wear. "Report," Lily said as she entered the bridge. The crew stood at their stations, faces illuminated by monitor screens. Navigation Officer Susan Rivera pointed to the main view screen. "We detected a small object drifting near the outer edge of this uncharted system. It's not natural, definitely. Artificial construction." "A ship?" Lily asked, leaning forward. "We believe so," said Chief Science Officer Joe Carter. He adjusted his glasses nervously. "And it's not human." The bridge fell silent. Despite years of searching, humanity had yet to make contact with alien life. "Show me," Lily ordered. The view screen zoomed in on a small vessel unlike anything they had seen before. Its design was organic, with flowing lines that seemed to pulse with a faint inner light. Parts of its hull appeared damaged, with dark patches marring its otherwise iridescent surface. "Life signs?" Lily asked. "One," Joe replied. "Very faint, but stable." Lily didn't hesitate. "Prepare a rescue team. I'll lead it myself." "Commander," Security Chief Peter Mason interjected, "protocol states that in first contact situations we should—" "I know the protocol, Chief," Lily cut him off. "But there's someone dying out there. We're not going to sit here and debate while that happens." She turned to the communications station. "Send standard greeting messages on all frequencies. Let's make it clear we're here to help." Within an hour, Lily and a small team had boarded their shuttle and approached the alien vessel. Up close, its beauty was even more apparent. The hull seemed to be made of some crystalline material that shifted colors like oil on water. "I've never seen anything like it," whispered Medical Officer Diane Campbell as they carefully docked with the damaged ship, using cutting tools. They created an entry point into the alien vessel. The air inside was breathable, though heavy with an unfamiliar floral scent. The interior walls glowed with soft light, illuminating corridors that curved and twisted like arteries. "This way," Joe said, following readings on his scanner. "The life sign is steady but weak." They found the alien in what appeared to be the ship's control center. Lily's breath caught in her throat at the sight. The being had a humanoid form, but with skin that shimmered with iridescence, changing colors slightly with each breath. Its face was delicate and almost human, except for large, almond-shaped eyes of deep amber. The alien wore flowing robes of silver material, adorned with symbols none of them recognized. "Hello," Lily said softly, approaching with her hands visible. "We're here to help you." The alien's eyes fluttered open, focusing on Lily with surprising clarity. It spoke, the sounds musical but incomprehensible. "Diane?" Lily prompted. The medical officer moved forward, scanning the alien with her equipment. "Female, from what I can tell. Injured but not critically. The ship's life support was failing, though. Another day and—" She didn't finish the sentence. The alien tried to sit up, speaking again in its melodic language. It pointed to itself, then repeated a single word. "Varan." "Varan," Lily echoed, pointing to the alien. "Is that your name?" The alien nodded, a surprisingly human gesture. Then she pointed to Lily. "Lily," the commander replied, placing a hand on her chest. "Lily Walsh." Over the next few hours, they managed to transport the alien back to the USS Horizon. The decision violated several first contact protocols, but Lily stood firm against objections. "We can't leave her to die," she insisted. "And her ship is beyond repair." Varen was given quarters near the medical bay where Diane could monitor her condition. The alien recovered quickly, showing remarkable adaptability to the human environment. She seemed particularly fascinated by Lily, following her movements with those large amber eyes whenever the commander visited. Within days, Lily had tasked the ship's computer specialist Sam Wells with creating a basic translation program. Progress was slow but steady. Varen proved to be an eager student, quickly grasping simple English words and phrases. "Sister," she explained through the rudimentary translator, pointing to her robes. "I am Sister Varen, a religious figure?" Lily asked, intrigued. Varen nodded. "Luminary order from ... She struggled for words, then pointed out the viewport toward a distant cluster of stars. "Astralis," she finally managed. "My people are Astralis?" As the days passed, communication improved. Varen explained she had been on a solitary pilgrimage when her ship malfunctioned. The Luminary Order, she tried to explain, was a spiritual sect that sought understanding through isolation, a concept that seemed to cause her visible distress when trying to translate. The breakthrough came when Sam suggested creating a neural interface, a modified version of technology used in advanced medical diagnostics. It might allow for basic thought patterns to be translated, he explained. Not mind reading exactly, but maybe enough to bridge the language gap. The first test of the interface was conducted in the science lab, with Lily volunteering as the human subject. The device, little more than a circlet worn around the head, felt warm against her skin as it activated. Varen wore a similar device, her expression solemn as Sam initiated the connection. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Varen's eyes widened. In what looked like shock, she removed the circlet abruptly, backing away with her hand over her mouth. "What happened?" Lily asked, concerned. "Did I do something wrong?" When Varen finally spoke, her words came through the translator with unusual clarity. "Nothing," the alien nun said, her color shifting to a deep blue that somehow conveyed distress. "I felt ... nothing." She stared at Lily with a new intensity. "In all our history, across countless worlds and species, you are the first beings whose thoughts are truly silent to us." Lily frowned. "You mean your people can read minds?" "Not read," Varen corrected, struggling with the concept. "Share, join, we are ... connected always, until now." She reached out, her iridescent fingers hovering near Lily's face but not touching. "You are the first true individuals I have ever encountered, separate, alone, yet somehow ... complete." The implications dawned on Lily slowly. "And that's important to you? To your order?" Sister Varen's skin rippled with colors Lily couldn't interpret. "It changes everything," she whispered. 2 weeks had passed since Sister Varen came aboard the USS Horizon. The alien nun had been given quarters near the science department, where she spent hours learning about humans. Her room was sparse by choice. She had requested that all decorations be removed, explaining that simplicity helped her maintain what she called mental discipline. Lily visited Varen daily, fascinated by the alien's culture. Today, she found Varen sitting cross-legged on the floor, her iridescent skin glowing a soft blue as she meditated. "I can come back later," Lily said from the doorway. Varen's eyes opened, shifting from amber to a warmer gold color that Lily had learned indicated pleasure. "No need, Commander. I welcome your presence." The neural interface had helped them overcome basic language barriers, though Varen now spoke simple English. Without it? She rose gracefully to her feet, her silver robes flowing around her tall frame. "I brought something for you," Lily said, holding out a small potted plant. "It's called a violet. I thought it might make your room feel more ... comfortable." Varen took the plant carefully, studying its purple flowers with intense curiosity. "A living gift. This is very meaningful to your people." "To some of us," Lily replied. I just thought you might like having something from Earth. Thank you, Varen said. She placed the plant near her window, where stars streamed past as the ship continued its mission. In my culture, we rarely give physical objects as gifts. We share memories instead. Lily sat down in one of the room's 2 chairs. That must be nice, to be able to share thoughts so directly. It is our way, Varen said, her color changing slightly to a more muted tone. Though the Luminary Order teaches that too much sharing can be dangerous? Is that why you became a nun, to avoid too much sharing? Varen seemed to consider her words carefully. The Luminary Order maintains that individual identity must be preserved, even as we exist within the shared consciousness of our people. We seek balance between connection and separation. She looked directly at Lily. That is why your species fascinates me. You exist completely separated from each other's thoughts, yet you still form bonds. It's all we've ever known, Lily said, with a shrug. Sometimes I think it would be easier if we could just share our thoughts directly. Might avoid a lot of misunderstandings, perhaps, Varen said, but it might create other problems. My people rarely lie to each other because it is nearly impossible, but we also have very little privacy. Secrets are difficult. The ship's communication system interrupted their conversation. Commander Walsh to the bridge, came Officer Frank Nichols' voice. Lily stood. Duty calls. Will you join me for dinner later? The crew is curious about you. Varen hesitated her skin flickering with uncertainty. Large groups are challenging for me, but I will try. Later that evening, the ship's dining hall buzzed with excitement. Most of the crew had only glimpsed Varen from a distance, and her appearance at dinner created a stir. The alien nun sat beside Lily, her posture perfect but her skin shifting through nervous patterns of color. Does it hurt? Asked Engineer Sam Wells, pointing to Varine's changing skin. When you change colors like that? No, Varen replied. It is involuntary, like your facial expressions. It reflects emotional states. So we can tell how you're feeling by your color? Asked Navigation Officer Susan Rivera. To some extent, Varen admitted, though the full meaning would be clear. Only to another Australis. Ship psychologist Dr. Alan Bennett leaned forward with interest. Sister Varen, you mentioned that your order practices mental discipline. What exactly does that involve? Varine's color deepened to a rich purple. The Luminary Order believes that while connection is natural to our species, separation is necessary. For our wisdom, we practice techniques to maintain our individual thoughts even while sharing consciousness with others. That sounds lonely, Diane Campbell said. It can be, Varen admitted, but we believe it is necessary. Without such practice, the Australis might become one mind with many bodies, losing the diversity of thought that drives evolution and growth. As dinner continued, Lily noticed Varen growing increasingly tense. The alien's skin had taken on a grayish hue and she had stopped eating. Are you all right? Lily asked quietly. There are many minds here, Varen whispered. Many emotions. It is overwhelming, even without direct telepathic connection. Lily stood up. I think that's enough socializing for one night. Sister Varen needs rest. She escorted the alien back to her quarters, concerned by Varine's obvious distress. Once they were alone in the corridor, Varine's color slowly returned to its normal iridescent state. I apologize, Varen said. In the Luminary Order, we rarely gather in large groups. It is too easy to lose oneself in the collective emotion. No need to apologize, Lily assured her. We'll take things more slowly. When they reached Varine's quarters, the alien paused at the door. Commander, may I ask you something personal? Of course. Do you ever feel lonely? Being unable to share your thoughts directly with others? Lily considered the question. Sometimes, especially out here, so far from home. But it's also what makes connections meaningful, I think. We have to work at understanding each other. Varine's eyes seemed to glow in the dim light of the corridor. My order teaches that true connection comes not from the ability to share thoughts, but from the choice to share oneself despite barriers. I never fully understood this teaching until now. The next morning, Dr. Alan Bennett requested a private meeting with Lily in his office. The psychologist looked troubled as she entered. "Is something wrong, Alan?" Lily asked. "I'm concerned about your interactions with our guest," he said, getting straight to the point. "You spend more time with Sister Varen than anyone else." "On the ship, that's my job," Lily replied defensively. "First contact is my responsibility." "Yes, but you've also withdrawn from your usual social activities with the crew. You've missed poker night twice, and Frank mentioned you haven't joined the morning running group in days." Lily crossed her arms. "I've been busy. We have an alien aboard, in case you hadn't noticed." That's exactly my point," Alan said gently. "This is an unprecedented situation, and we're all affected by it. But you seem particularly drawn to Sister Varen. I wonder if her isolation from her own kind resonates with something in you." "That's ridiculous," Lily said, though something in Alan's words struck uncomfortably close to home. "I'm just doing my job." "All I'm saying is be careful," Alan replied. "We know very little about the Australis or their culture. Sister Varen talks about mental boundaries and discipline, which suggests their telepathic abilities might be more complex than she's explained. What are you suggesting?" "Nothing specific," Alan said. "Just that you maintain professional boundaries. For both your sakes." Later that day, Lily found herself back in the observation deck, thinking about Alan's warning. The stars streamed past, each one potentially harboring worlds and civilizations they had yet to discover. "May I join you?" Lily turned to find Varen standing in the doorway, her form silhouetted against the corridor lights. "Of course," Lily said, gesturing to the seat beside her. Varen moved gracefully across the room, her robes flowing like liquid silver. She sat beside Lily and gazed out at the stars. "In my culture," Varen said softly, "we have a saying, 'The universe speaks in silence to those who listen with more than ears.'" "That's beautiful," Lily replied. "Yes," Varen agreed, her skin shimmering with colors Lily had never seen before. "But until I met humans, I never truly understood what it meant." 3 months had passed since Sister Varen joined the crew of the USS Horizon. The alien nun had become a familiar sight aboard the ship, her silver robes flowing as she moved through the corridors. Most crew members had grown used to her presence, though they still found her color-changing skin fascinating. Lily sat in her office reviewing reports when her communication panel beeped. "Commander, we're picking up unusual energy readings from the engineering section," Officer Frank Nichols reported. "What kind of readings?" Lily asked, already standing. "Unstable power fluctuations in the secondary generator. Chief Engineer Betty Morris requests your presence immediately." Lily hurried to engineering, where she found a team of technicians gathered around a pulsing blue light that emanated from one of the ship's power cells. "What's happening?" she asked Betty, a stocky woman with short gray hair and steady hands. "We were running routine maintenance when the cells started behaving erratically," Betty explained, her face grim. "The energy signature is unlike anything I've seen before. It's almost as if it's responding to something." Lily moved closer to examine the power cell. "Could it be related to our jump through that nebula last week?" "Possibly," Betty nodded. "We did register some unusual radiation. I thought we contained it, but..." A sudden flash of blue light erupted from the power cell, throwing Lily backward. She hit the wall hard, pain exploding in her head before darkness claimed her. Lily became aware of voices around her, distant and muffled. She tried to open her eyes but couldn't. Her body felt heavy, disconnected. "Brain activity is stable, but..." "She's not waking up," came Diane Campbell's voice. "It's like she's trapped between consciousness and unconsciousness." "Let me try," came a melodic voice that Lily recognized as Sister Varen's. "My people have healing techniques that might help." "I don't know," Diane sounded uncertain. "We don't fully understand your physiology or how it might interact with humans. Please," Varen's voice was urgent. "I cannot stand by and do nothing when I might help." There was a pause, then Diane's reluctant agreement. "All right, but I'll monitor closely. Any sign of trouble and we stop immediately." Lily felt cool fingers touch her forehead. Then came a strange sensation like water flowing through her mind. Warmth spread from her head down to her toes. "Commander Walsh?" Varine's voice seemed to come from inside her own head now. "Follow." My presence back to consciousness. Lily tried to move toward the voice, pushing against the darkness that held her. Gradually, feeling returned to her body. With enormous effort, she opened her eyes. Varen stood over her, the alien skin glowing with a bright golden light. Diane stood nearby, medical scanner in hand, looking astonished. "What happened?" Lily asked, her voice hoarse. "You were caught." "In an energy discharge," Diane explained, checking Lily's vital signs. "You've been unconscious for 16 hours. We were getting worried. Lily turned to Varen, whose skin was slowly returning to its normal iridescent state. "What did you do?" Varen stepped back, her eyes downcast. "I used a healing technique of my order. It required ... a connection I had not attempted before with a human." Something in Varine's tone made Lily look more closely at the alien. "Are you all right?" "I must meditate," Varen said abruptly. "The connection was ... unexpected." With that, she turned and left the medical bay. Diane watched her go with a frown. "She refused to leave your side the entire time you were unconscious. I've never seen her so distressed." Lily was released from medical bay the next day with orders to rest. She tried to visit Varen, but the alien had locked herself in her quarters and requested privacy. Concerned, Lily returned to her own room, troubled by the strange connection she had felt while unconscious. On the third day, as Lily sat reading in her quarters, her door chimed. She opened it to find Varen standing there, her skin pulsing with swirls of blue and violet. "May I enter?" the alien asked formally. "Of course." Lily stepped aside. "I've been worried about you." Varen moved into the room but remained standing, her posture rigid. "I must confess something to you, Commander. What I did while you were unconscious, it violated the most sacred principles of my order." Lily sat down, gesturing for Varen to do the same. "What do you mean?" "The Luminari Order forbids deep healing connections except between those who have trained together for years," Varen explained, reluctantly taking a seat. "The risk of losing one's mental boundaries is too great." "But you did it anyway," Lily said softly. "To help me, yes." Varine's skin darkened to a deep blue, and something happened that I cannot explain. Something that has never been recorded. "In the history of my people," Lily leaned forward. "What happened?" "When I connected with your mind to guide you back to consciousness, I expected to find nothing. The same silence I always encounter with humans." Varine's eyes met Lily's. "Instead, I felt something else. Not thoughts or memories as I would perceive from an astralis, but emotions, feelings, a presence that recognized my own." "Is that unusual? It is unprecedented?" Varen whispered. "My people have encountered thousands of species across many star systems. Never have we formed emotional bonds without telepathic merging. It is the foundation of our understanding of consciousness." Lily tried to process what Varen was saying. "So you're telling me we formed some kind of connection, even though your telepathy doesn't work on humans?" "Yes," Varine's skin rippled, with colors Lily had never seen before. "And it terrifies me. My order teaches that control is everything, that we must maintain the boundaries between self and other. What I experienced defies all their teachings." She stood suddenly, moving to the window to stare out at the stars. "You're the first being I've encountered who I cannot read, yet I feel more connected to you than anyone in my existence. This defies everything my order has taught me." Lily joined Varen at the window, careful not to touch her. "Is that why you've been avoiding me?" "Yes," Varen admitted. "I needed to meditate to understand what happened. But 3 days of reflection have brought no clarity." Before Lily could respond, the ship's communication system activated. "Commander Walsh," came Communications Officer Kate Powell's urgent voice. "We've intercepted a transmission you need to hear immediately." "I'll be right there," Lily replied. She turned to Varen. "Will you come with me?" Varen hesitated, then nodded. "Yes, I suspect this may concern me as well." They arrived on the bridge to find the crew gathered around the communications station. Kate looked up as they entered, her expression troubled. I picked this up on a frequency we've never used before, she explained, adjusting controls on her console. It's definitely not human in origin. A series of musical tones filled the bridge, followed by words in a language Lily didn't understand. Beside her, Varenne stiffened, her skin turning ashen gray. What is it? Lily asked. A message from an Australis. Vessel, Varenne said, her voice barely audible. They are searching for a lost sister. Your people are looking for you? Frank asked. Varenne's eyes met Lily's, filled with what could only be described as fear. Not my people. My order, the message is from Archon Zalith, head of the Luminari Order. She took a shaky breath. And they are not coming to rescue me. They are coming to retrieve me. What's the difference? Lily asked. Everything, Varenne whispered. The mood on the USS Horizon grew tense over the next few days. Lily called an emergency meeting with her senior officers to discuss the approaching Australis vessel. They gathered in the ship's conference room, faces serious as they considered their options. How long until they reach us? Lily asked, looking at Navigation Officer Susan Rivera. Based on their transmission signal strength, approximately 5 days, Susan replied. They're moving faster than we can. We could try to outrun them, suggested. Security Chief Peter Mason, change course, hide in a nebula. Lily shook her head. We're explorers, not fugitives. Besides, we don't know their tracking capabilities. She turned to Sister Varenne, who sat silently at the end of the table, her skin a dull gray. We need to know more about what we're facing. What can you tell us about this Archon Zalith and the Luminari Order? Varenne's eyes, normally a warm amber, had faded to a pale yellow. Archon Zalith is the supreme leader of our order. She has held this position for over 200 of your years. 200 years? Frank Nichols whistled. How long do your people live? With proper care, approximately 500 years. Varenne replied. Archon Zalith is considered young for her position. She rose to power quickly due to her exceptional telepathic abilities. And what will happen when they arrive? Lily pressed. Why are you afraid of your own people? Varenne's skin rippled with dark colors. I must tell you the full truth now. The Luminari Order is not merely a spiritual sect as I led you to believe. It serves another purpose in Australis society. The room fell silent as Varenne continued. Among my people, most individuals exist in a constant state of mental connection. Thoughts, emotions, and memories flow freely between connected minds. But occasionally an Australis is born with unusual mental abilities. Some can shield their thoughts from others. Some can influence the thoughts of others more strongly than is considered safe. And you're one of these people, Lily guessed. Varenne nodded. I have the rare ability to maintain my individuality even within the collective. Consciousness. This is considered dangerous because it can disrupt the harmony of our shared mental state. So the Luminari Order isn't about spiritual growth, Dr. Alan Bennett said. It's about containing those with abilities that threaten your societies. Mental balance. Yes, Varenne admitted. We are trained to control our abilities, to suppress them for the greater good. Those who cannot or will not conform are ... quotes. She hesitated. Are what? Lily asked quietly. Their minds are permanently altered, Varenne said, her voice barely audible. The individual consciousness is suppressed, leaving only a shell that serves the collective. Shocked silence filled the room. Lily felt cold anger building inside her. And that's what they planned for you? I discovered plans for my treatment before I left on my supposed pilgrimage, Varenne confirmed. My abilities have grown stronger. With age, the Order believes I can no longer be trusted to control them myself. So you ran away, Diane Campbell said softly. Yes, I stole a ship and fled, hoping to find sanctuary among the stars. Varenne's eyes met Lily's. I never expected to find humans. Well, they're not taking you, Lily said firmly. Not if you don't want to go. Commander, Peter cautioned, we need to consider the implications. We know nothing about Australis weapons. Or technology. If they're advanced enough for interstellar travel, they could pose a serious threat. He's right, Susan agreed. We should at least prepare defensive options, Lily nodded. Chief Engineer Betty Morris, what's our shield status? After the power cell incident, Betty frowned. Operating at 85% capacity. I've got teams working around the clock, but we're still dealing with power fluctuations. Keep at it, Lily ordered. I want those shields at full strength before the Australis ship arrives. She turned to Communications Officer Kate Powell. Prepare a response to their transmission. Tell them we've rescued Sister Va'Aaron and are caring for her as our guest. Is that wise? Frank asked, confirming she's here. They already know, Varen said. Archon Xylith would not have sent that message if she wasn't certain of my location. After the meeting, Lily escorted Va'Aaron back to her quarters. The alien. None seemed smaller somehow, her usual graceful posture replaced by a slight hunch, as if carrying a heavy weight. We'll protect you, Lily promised as they reached Varine's door. I won't let them take you against your will. Varen looked at her with sad eyes. You don't understand the full danger. Archon Xylith can influence minds from a distance. She will attempt to control your crew. But you said your telepathy doesn't work on humans. Normal telepathy, no. But Archon Xylith's abilities are far beyond mine. She may find ways to affect your people that I cannot predict. Lily considered this new information. Is there any way to block her abilities? Varen hesitated. Perhaps? Our telepathy works on specific energy frequencies. If you could generate a counter-frequency ... double quotes. I'll talk to Betty, Lily said. Maybe we can modify our shields. Over the next 4 days, the USS Horizon prepared for the arrival of the Australis ship. Betty Morris and her engineering team worked with Varen to develop a shield modification that might block Australis' telepathic abilities. The work was complicated by the continued power fluctuations from the damaged generator. Meanwhile, Lily noticed subtle changes in Sister Varen. The alien spent less time meditating and more time studying human culture. She began wearing her hair loose instead of in the tight bun required by her order. Small changes, but significant. You seem different, Lily commented as they shared. A quiet dinner in Varine's quarters. I am different, Varen replied. Each day away from the collective consciousness of my people changes me. Each day with humans teaches me new ways of connecting without telepathy. Her skin glowed with warm colors. It is ... liberating. Are you sure you don't want to return to your people? Lily asked. Not the order, but your homeworld? Varen was quiet for a long moment. My experience with humans has awakened something in me that cannot be undone. The connection I formed with you while healing you ... She looked directly at Lily. It showed me a kind of bond I never knew was possible. To return now would be to lose that forever. Before Lily could respond, the ship's alarm sounded. Commander to the bridge. Came Frank's urgent voice over the communication system. They rushed to the bridge, where the main view screen showed an enormous ship approaching. Unlike the organic, flowing lines of Varine's small vessel, this ship was imposing a massive structure of crystalline material that seemed to pulse with inner light. The Archon's vessel, Varen whispered, her skin turning pale. They're hailing us, Kate reported from her station. Lily took a deep breath. On screen. The view screen changed to show a tall Australis female. Like Varen, she had iridescent skin, but hers was a deep purple that barely changed color. Her eyes were not amber but a piercing silver, and instead of simple robes, she wore an elaborate costume with flowing layers and strange symbols. I am Archon Xylith of the Luminari Order. She spoke in perfect English, her voice musical but cold. You have one of our sisters aboard your vessel. We have come to take her home. Sister Va'Aaron is under our protection, Lily replied evenly. She's our guest, not our prisoner. The Archon's eyes narrowed. You do not understand our ways, human. Sister Varen is ill. Her mind is ... unstable. She requires treatment that only we can provide. I am not ill, Varen stepped forward, her voice stronger than Lily had ever heard it. My mind is clearer now than it has ever been, you see? Archon Xylith said to Lily. Delusions, rebellion, these are symptoms of her condition. Hand her over and we will depart peacefully. Refuse and we will be forced to take more direct action. The screen went black as the transmission ended. That went well, Frank muttered. Betty, Lily turned to her chief engineer. How close are we with the shield modifications? We're ready to test the prototype, Betty replied. But there's a problem. To activate it, we'll need to drop our regular shields for approximately 20 seconds, leaving us completely vulnerable. Peter said grimly. Lily looked at Varen, who stood tall despite the fear evident in her eyes. What do you think? I think, Varen said slowly, that I cannot ask you to risk your ship and crew for me. You're not asking, Lily replied. I'm offering. The bridge of the USS Horizon hummed with tension as Lily considered their options. The massive Astralis ship loomed on their view screen, its crystalline surface glowing with inner light. Betty Morris stood at her engineering station, fingers hovering over the controls for the experimental shield modification. Everyone to battle stations, Lily ordered. Prepare for possible hostilities. Commander, Security Chief Peter Mason warned, we're outmatched. Their ship is at least 5 times our size. Size isn't everything, Lily replied, though she knew. He was right. She turned to Betty. How confident are you in this shield modification? Betty frowned. The theory is sound, but without proper testing, I'd give it a 60% chance of working as intended. And a 40% chance of what? Frank Nichols asked. Best case, nothing happens, Betty said. Worst case, it creates a feedback loop in our power systems. Sister Varen stepped forward, her skin now a determined blue. There is another option, she said quietly. I could return to my people. No, Lily said firmly. They'll destroy your mind. Perhaps that is the price I must pay for peace between our species. Lily looked at Varine's resigned expression and felt something harden inside her. No one is sacrificing themselves today. Prepare the shield modification, Betty. Before they could act, Kate Powell called out from communications. They're hailing us again. On screen, Lily ordered. Archon Xylith's face appeared, her silver eyes cold. Your time has expired, humans. Surrender Sister Varen immediately. We need to discuss terms, Lily replied, trying to buy time. We want assurances of her safety. The Archon's lips curled into what might have been a smile. There are no terms to discuss. Even now, I am reaching into the minds of your crew. As she spoke, Frank Nichols suddenly stiffened at his station. He turned toward Lily with blank eyes and reached for his control panel. Frank, Lily called out. But he didn't respond. I am finding that human minds are not as resistant as you believe, Archon Xylith continued. They simply require different techniques. Across the bridge, Susan Rivera also froze, then began to move like a puppet on strings. One by one, crew members fell under the Archon's influence. Betty, activate the shield modification now. Lily shouted, I can't drop our regular shields with them attacking. Betty called back, frantically working her controls. Varen moved to Lily's side. There is one more option, she whispered. But it requires something I have never attempted. What is it? If I connect with you as I did during the healing, I might be able to extend my mental protection to others through you. It would create a network of protection with you as the center. Do it, Lily said without hesitation. Varen placed her hands on either side of Lily's face. Her skin began to glow with an intense golden light. Lily felt the same warm flow she had experienced while unconscious, but stronger, more focused. Remember, the connection we forged, Varen whispered. Focus on it. Strengthen it. Lily closed her eyes, concentrating on the strange bond that had formed between them. She felt it grow, expand, becoming a tangible thing that stretched out from her to the affected crew members on the view screen. Archon Xylith's expression changed from confidence to confusion. What are you doing? She demanded. This is impossible. Frank and Susan blinked, shaking their heads as if waking from a dream. Around the bridge, other crew members did the same. Now, Betty, Lily ordered. Betty nodded and activated the sequence. Regular shields dropping in 3.1. For 20 terrifying seconds, the USS Horizon was defenseless. Lily felt Varen trembling with effort beside her, maintaining the mental protection that was their only shield. "Shield modification activating," Betty called out. "New shields up!" A wave of blue energy spread from the ship's emitters, forming a bubble around the vessel that shimmered with an unusual frequency. As it stabilized, Varine's hands dropped from Lily's face and the alien collapsed to her knees. Exhausted dot on the view screen, Archon Xylith's face contorted with rage. "What have you done?" she hissed. "We've created a telepathic dampening field," Lily explained, helping Varen to her feet. "You can no longer influence my crew." The Archon's skin darkened to a deep, angry purple. "This changes nothing. We will take Sister Varen by force if necessary." The transmission cut off abruptly. Moments later, the Astralis ship fired energy. Weapons that splashed against the horizon's new shields. "Shields holding at 90%, Peter reported with surprise. "The modification seems to be absorbing their energy weapons." "They're preparing for another attack," Susan warned. Varen straightened, her strength returning. "Commander, may I address Archon Xylith once more?" Lily nodded. "Open a channel, Kate." When the Archon's face appeared again, Varen stepped forward. Her silver robes seemed to shimmer with new energy, and her skin glowed with colors Lily had never seen before. "Archon Xylith," Varen said, her voice carrying a new authority. "I, Sister Varen of the Luminary Order, formally renounce my vows and request asylum among the humans." The Archon's eyes widened. "You cannot renounce your vows. The Order is not a choice. It is your purpose." "No," Varen replied calmly. "My purpose is to grow, to learn, to connect in ways our people have forgotten. You teach that we must suppress our individuality for the good of all, but you are wrong." "Blasphemy," the Archon spat. "Truth," Varen countered. "You're the first species we've encountered that exists without our form of connection. Yet you've taught me a deeper meaning of connection than my people have known for millennia. I cannot live without this new understanding. I cannot return to a world of forced mental communion when I've experienced the beauty of choosing to connect." The Archon's face darkened further. "You are ill, Sister Varen. Your mind is corrupted by these humans." "My mind is clearer than it has ever been," Varen replied. "And I am no longer Sister Varen. I am simply Varen, an individual who chooses her own path." With a sound of rage, the Archon cut the transmission. The Astralis ship immediately fired all weapons at once, pounding the horizon's shields. "Shields at 60% and dropping," Peter reported. "Betty, can we boost power to the shields?" Lily asked. "Not without overloading the system," Betty replied. "The modification is already pushing our generators to their limits." Varen turned to Lily, her eyes bright with sudden inspiration. "The neural interface we created when I first arrived, it could be modified to amplify the shield frequency." "How?" Lily asked. "If we connect it to your ship's main power distribution, it might create a feedback pulse that would disrupt their weapons." Betty looked skeptical. "That's theoretically possible, but it would require incredible timing, and we have to try," Lily decided. "Frank, evasive maneuvers buy us some time." As the USS Horizon twisted and turned to avoid the worst of the Astralis attacks, Betty and Varen worked frantically to modify the neural interface. Their shields continued to weaken under the relentless assault. "Ready," Betty finally called. "But this is a one-shot deal. If it doesn't work, we'll lose shields completely." "Do it," Lily ordered. Betty activated the modified interface. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a massive pulse of energy erupted from the horizon, expanding outward in a visible wave. When it reached the Astralis ship, their weapons faltered, but something else happened that no one expected. The pulse created a strange harmonic effect that resonated throughout both ships. On the Astralis vessel, hundreds of minds suddenly experienced a moment of complete mental freedom, including many who, like Varen, had been suppressed by the Luminary Order. "They've stopped firing," Susan reported in amazement. "They're hailing US," Kate added. "But it's not the Archon. It's coming from a different part of their ship." "On screen," Lily ordered. The face that appeared wasn't Archon Xylith but another Australis, male with skin that shifted through shades of green. This is Mentor Kelvis of the Australis ship Enlightenment. We request a ceasefire and negotiations. Lily glanced at Varan, who nodded in recognition. Mentor Kelvis was my teacher before he disappeared, she explained. I thought the order had processed him. I was imprisoned, Kelvis explained, as were many others who questioned the orders. Methods, your pulse disrupted our containment systems. His skin shifted to a warm orange, and it showed every Australis aboard what mental freedom feels like, if only for a moment. 3 days later, Lily and Varan stood in the observation deck, watching as a small delegation from the Australis ship prepared to return home. Archon Xylith had been confined by her own people after the extent of her mental manipulations was revealed. What will happen now? Lily asked. Change, Varan replied simply. Mentor Kelvis and the others will spread what they've learned about individual choice and connection without compulsion. And you? Will you go with them? Varan turned to face Lily, her skin glowing with warm colors. No, my place is here, exploring this new form of connection I've found with humans. She reached out, taking Lily's hand. With you? As our ambassador? Lily asked with a small smile. As myself? Varan replied. Not defined by my order or my species, but by my choices. Her skin shimmered with new, joyful colors. You were my first experience of chosen connection rather than inevitable merging. That revelation changed everything, not just for me, but potentially for both our species. Together, they watched as the small Australis shuttle departed, carrying the seeds of change.